There's a very specific feeling that happens when a book isn't working. It's not dramatic, it's not immediate, and it doesn't usually hit you in the first few pages. It kind of creeps in. You're reading, but your attention drifts. You finish a chapter, and instead of wondering what happens next, you're thinking about something else on your shelf. And you check how many pages are left. Or you start calculating how long it will take to finish. You tell yourself it might improve soon. And somewhere in the back of your mind, quietly, the thought appears, maybe I should just stop. And immediately after that comes another one. But I can't. Because for some reason, stopping feels wrong. It feels like quitting, like failing, like you didn't try hard enough. And I think that thought is strange. Because reading, of all the things we do, should not feel like a test of endurance. Reading is one of the most personal experiences we can have. It's shaped by our taste, our mood, our season of life, and even our energy levels that week. And the same book can feel life-changing at one moment and exhausting at another. A book you adore might leave someone else completely cold. So why do we treat DNFing like a moral issue? Why is there this subtle pressure, especially in online reading spaces, to finish everything you start? Now, I'm not here to tell you how you should read. If you're someone who genuinely enjoys finishing every book you pick up, that's completely valid. Some people get satisfaction from seeing it through, and some people feel they can't fully evaluate a book unless they've read every page, and that's completely fine. But I think a lot of readers don't finish books because they want to. They finish them because they feel like they should. And that's where the problem begins. Somewhere along the way, we absorb the idea that finishing a book is a sign of discipline, that real readers push through, and that quitting means you lack attention span or commitment. But reading is not homework. It's not a productivity challenge, and it's not a moral virtue. You don't earn character points for finishing something you hated. And the truth is, there are more books in the world than you will ever be able to read. Not just a few more, not just the ones currently on your shelf, entire genres you haven't touched. Decades of classics, there are new releases every single week. There are translations, indie releases, massive fantasy epics, quiet literary novels, space operas, historical fiction, memoirs, the list is endless. And your time is not. And every hour you spend forcing yourself through a book that isn't connecting is an hour you're not spending on something that might completely captivate you. Now, that doesn't mean you avoid difficulty. Difficulty and dislike are not the same thing. And some of the most rewarding books require patience. They take time to build, or they challenge you. But when a book challenges you, there is still curiosity underneath. There's friction, but also interest. But when a book isn't working, that curiosity fades. You're not leaning forward, you're dragging yourself through it. And that difference matters. And for me, the clearest sign to DNF is mental negotiation. When I'm enjoying a book, I don't negotiate with myself about reading it. I don't set page quotas just to get through it. I don't constantly glance at a percentage complete, and I don't fantasize about starting something else. When those thoughts start showing up consistently, That's usually my answer. And if you're reading and already thinking about DNFing, that thought doesn't come out of nowhere. It's your reading instinct trying to tell you something. And another sign is resentment. If picking up a book feels like a chore, or if you're avoiding it, or you'd rather scroll on your phone than continue, that's not laziness, that's disconnection. And again, this is personal. There is no universal rule like DNF at 100 pages or always finish the first act. Some people know within 30 pages, others need 200. And the point isn't the number, the point is awareness. Now, some books are easy to walk away from, and others feel almost impossible. It's harder when you bought a beautiful edition because you were convinced it would become a favorite. The sprayed edges, the special cover, the maps, and the anticipation. It's harder when it's a new release from an author you love. You waited months, you were excited, and you even told people about it. It's also harder when it's part of a massive series and you've already invested time. You've read 2 books already and you're attached to the world and you feel like you should continue. And in those moments, DNFing can feel like admitting disappointment, almost like betrayal. But here's something important. You're not rejecting the book, you're acknowledging your experience. Sometimes expectations are the problem. Sometimes the timing is, and sometimes your taste has just shifted. And sometimes the book just isn't doing what you hoped. And that's not a failure, that's honesty. Now there's a common fear that once you allow yourself to DNF, you'll start doing it too easily, that you lose discipline, or that you'll become impatient, or that you'll never finish anything substantial again. But I don't think that's how it works. There's a big difference between impulsively quitting because something is slightly slow and intentional stopping because a book generally isn't working for you. And if you're honest about your reasons, you're not weakening your reading habits. You're actually refining them. In fact, once you remove the guilt around DNFing, something interesting happens. Because I think you become more intentional about what you pick up. And you pay closer attention to your mood. And you stop reading out of obligation and start reading out of curiosity again. And ironically, you may end up finishing more books because you're spending your time on ones that actually connect with you. Now, I really like the idea of a soft DNF because not every unfinished book needs to be dramatic and not every DNF needs to be permanent. Sometimes a book isn't bad, it's just wrong for your current mood. Maybe you're burnt out on grimdark fantasy and need something hopeful. Maybe you've been reading dense political intrigue and your brain wants something simpler. Or maybe you picked up something emotional heavy during a stressful week. That doesn't mean the book is bad. It just means the timing is off. So put it down. Leave a bookmark in it if you want and put it back on your shelf without judgment. You can always return. Some books click later and some never do, and both outcomes are fine. Now, DNFing doesn't mean a book is objectively bad. It doesn't mean that other readers are wrong for loving it. It doesn't mean you're not smart enough to understand it or patient enough to appreciate it. It simply means this isn't for me. And that sentence doesn't need justification. Your reading life doesn't need to be defended. If reading starts to feel heavy, obligated, or joyless, something is off. Reading should feel alive, curious, engaging, sometimes demanding, but never purely draining. There's no medal for finishing a book you hated, and no one is keeping score. The only person experiencing your reading life is you, so protect it. Don't be afraid to be selective, and be honest. Trust your instincts, because the goal isn't to finish the most books, it isn't to prove your endurance, and it isn't to conquer your TBR like it's a checklist. The goal is to find the books that matter to you, the ones that linger, and the ones that challenge you in the right way, and the ones you think about long after you close them. And sometimes the only way to find those books is to stop reading the ones that aren't meant for you. So, if you ever felt guilty about DNFing, maybe this is your permission to let that go. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to protect your time. And you're allowed to put a book down, gently, respectfully, and just move on. And I'm really curious where you stand on this. Do you finish everything you start? Or have you become more comfortable DNFing over time? Or are you still somewhere in the middle? Feel free to let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.